I'll get you some butter. Getting off late. We're gonna stay in the sand. Goes, if a gingerbread cookie is made especially for you.
Your wish comes true tonight when family and traditions come together. It's been years since we got to work together in here. Looking at you now, it looks like it could have been yesterday. You believe in a little Christmas cookie magic.
Did you ever make a wish?
Once.
What did you wish for?
The girl I like will like me back. Gingerbread Miracle. All new tonight at 8. Part of Countdown to Christmas. Only on Hallmark. Grammy-nominated singer Jordan Sparks makes her own new Countdown to Christmas movie debut Sunday night. So you are heading to New York to make a name for yourself? That's what I'm hoping for. It's too bad, though. That made you a whole lot stronger.
You two are running into each other for a reason. Never know what could happen.
Christmas treasure. All new Sunday night at 8. Part of Countdown to Christmas. Only on Hallmark.
We see you. That's why we designed our new number 7 Pure Retinol range, informed by 15 years of scientific research to target the appearance of dark spots, wrinkles, and loose radiance, and formulated to be gentler to skin.
Mimi, you're unmuted. We can hear you.
Haven't said anything.
You had mute something in the background. Sounded like music.
Nope.
Okay. If you're going to schedule a budget and finance meeting, give me plenty of time heads up, please.
I sent you an email last night. Did you not receive it?
I said, yeah, you said you were trying to set one up.
Right, soon as the guys come back from vacation.
You didn't tell us when that is, though.
When they come back, so they come back, Richard's going to set it up.
That's what I'm saying, but give me advance notice once they
We
come back.
will. I will give you advance notice.
That's what I need. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello. Do, 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 do. Put your mask on, Richard. uh,
I remember to put my keeper on.
oh boy, you got your keeper. You keep your keeper. Hello, everybody. I'm everybody. As you can tell, I have your mics openable. They're not locked. And just remember, you're speaking on the internet. So when you talk about me behind my back, just shh.
Never talk to me about it behind your back. Always face to face.
Always face to face. Right. Talk to me in front of my face. That's right. Oh God, this is going to be awful. I may have to change chairs. Well, we're going to start in 1 minute. It's interesting. Why would somebody do that?
Your background keeps flickering.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it'll stop in a few minutes when I move closer. I'm off center for a moment. You'll see why. Bum, 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 bum. Is Paula on tonight? I guess not.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you go. Good. You'll be the official timekeeper tonight.
Okay, that's great. Are we ready?
Well, in 10 seconds.
Wait a minute.
10 seconds.
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shabbat Shalom.
What time is it?
It is 7 p.m.
All right.
Not 8, it's 7.
Do you know where your heater is? Hey, la 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 la, yeah, la 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 la, everybody, la 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 la, yeah, la 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 la, yeah, la, yeah, la, hey, yeah, la. Four, yeah, la 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 la, yeah, la 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 la, yeah, la 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 la, yeah, la 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 la. 2, 3, 4. Bum, bim, 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 bum, bim, 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 bum, 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 bim, bum, bim, 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 bum, bim, 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 bim. Everybody, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bum, bim, bum, bim, 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 bum, bim, 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 bum, ya da 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 da, bim, bum, bim, 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 bum, bim, 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 bum, 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 bim, 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 bum. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I saw some of you singing. I did. I saw some of you. The Wasatskis were clapping, and it's good. Welcome, everybody. I'll try to get rid of some of that movement here now. And it's time for us to begin with good news. You know the routine. Because we're on Zoom, you have to be one at a time. So who's got the first? You just open your mic and give us some good news. Who's the first one to give us some good news tonight? Anybody have any good news? Open your mic and share with Rabbi Perlman and all of us at Temple Ner Tamid.
We have good news.
Go ahead, Kaufman's.
Today is our son Craig and our daughter Emily's 4th anniversary.
Happy anniversary. 4 years, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, time goes by in this world.
I beat you. I beat you. Today is my son and my daughter-in-law's 27th anniversary.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yes. Yep.
They beat me, for God's sakes. That's great.
And me as well.
Mazel, mazel, mazel. Anyone else? Good news?
I have good news.
Yes.
It's good news, bad news. So as everyone knows, the bad news is that we do not have any heat in the temple right now. But the good news is, thanks to Ed Gustat,
Yeah.
it is going to be fixed, hopefully sooner rather than later. And so I personally want to thank Ed on behalf of the entire temple for all the work that he's done. He was there early in the morning. He has been calling the plumber. Don't hit him, Irene. Everyone can see that, Irene. You know, we may have to report you. He's been in touch with the plumber. He's been working really hard. So Ed, thank you, thank you, thank you.
He did miracles. He really did.
Yeah. And besides that, I want to thank Rabbi Perlman because he just ran with this, and thankfully he had all of the Zoom stuff ready to go. Because
even though I was thrown out of the official sanctuary.
Because on March 13th, 2020, when we were going to be closed for 2 weeks, Rabbi had everything set. And so thank you. And also I have to thank John Dunn because he was with the fire department on whatever night it was. I don't even remember what night it was when they discovered the problem. So we owe you a huge debt of gratitude. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank
you all. Really, the temple really pulls together when we need to get things done. And I saw Ed do the impossible today. You know, I know, it's hard to get materials today, but Ed Gustat says, there's no such thing as can't. I love that. I appreciate that. Any final good news before we move along? You know, we're on Zoom tonight, so I get to do some things that I haven't been able to do in a while. So let's start off with a beautiful Shalom Aleichem that we have.
I think Ruth has good news, Rabbi.
Oh, Ruth. Yes, Ruth.
Yes, I have some good news. I want to thank all my supporters because I did get elected for the trustee of the Peabody Library Institute. So
all right,
starts next year. Well, thank you very, very much to all of you.
Congratulations, Mazel Tov. Oh, good. The libraries are going to be in good hands with you. That's great news. I'm proud of you. That's great. You know, public service, it takes a lot. So you go get them, kid. Make those libraries work better. That's for sure. All right. Anybody else before we move? Okay, let's begin with a beautiful rendition of the Shalom Aleichem. I know we all love this. Sit back and relax. Oh no.
Wow. Look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important to an organization's success.
In the middle of a playback.
Frankly, I have no idea what the other 6% are thinking. You know, usually when people look up ways to improve culture.
Wow. All right, let's kill it. Oh, we got beat up on that. Sorry about that, folks. Oh well. I had no idea that we're going to play a commercial in the middle of it. I think she was at this point here. Baruch hu ni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim akadosh baruch hu. Seichem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim akadosh baruch hu. Oh, well, she was warming my heart. And then all of a sudden the commercial. So they've obviously changed some things. So good for them. Let's read together at the bottom on the left. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come, let us welcome Shabbat, the true queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her God's angels of peace and of rest. Come now, dear queen, with us abide. Come now, Shabbat our bride. Shalom Aleichem, angels of peace. And now we'll change the page. And Yedid Nefesh on page 14 for those of you following in your Siddur at home. Yedid Nefesh av harachaman mishochav dacher ritzonach yarutz avdach kemo hayal yishtachave mul hadarach yerav lo yedidutach min ofetzuf v'chotam. Yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai lai lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai lai lai, yala lai lai, yala lai lai lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai, yala lai lai, yala lai 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 lai. Yala lai 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 lai, yala lai 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 lai. Together as Sabbath prayer. Dear God, help us now to make this the new Shabbat. After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves. We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating. We break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We reach toward one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat, page 15. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu lechu nerana ladonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu lechu nerana ladonai. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, nikabma fana bitoda. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu lechu nerana ladonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu lechu nerana ladonai. Ki el gadol Arba'im shana akut bedor v'yamaram to'ile bavhem v'hem lo yadu drachai asher nishpati v'api im yivon el menuchati. On page 16, we'll read responsibly. Adele, would you open your mic for me and join me responsibly on behalf of the congregation? Sing a new song to Adonai. Acclaim Adonai, all people on earth.
Sing to Adonai, proclaim each day God's awesome might, announce to the world God's glory and wonders.
For Adonai is great, deserving of praise. Adonai alone is to be revered as God.
All the gods of the nation are nothingness, but Adonai created the heavens.
Majesty and might accompany God's splendor and strength, adorn God's sanctuary.
Acknowledge Adonai, all families of nations. Acclaim God's majestic power. Acknowledge God's glory and bring him tribute.
Worship Adonai in resplendent reverence. Let the earth tremble in God's presence.
Declare to the world, Adonai is sovereign. God has steadied the world which stands firm and judges all nations with fairness.
Let the heavens rejoice. Let the earth be glad. Let the sea and all it contains exult.
Let field and forest sing for joy. Adonai comes to rule the earth, to rule the world justly, the nations with faithfulness.
Lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamim be'emunato. And we're on page 20, and if you choose to stand, it is the appropriate time for Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, hishtachavu l'Adonai behar kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vaishaber Adonai et arzei havanon, Vayarkidehem kemo egel Levanon, Vesirion kemo ven rehemim, kol Adonai chotsev lavot eish, kol Adonai yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yecholel hayalot, Vayechesov yeharot uvheichalo kulo omer kavod Adonai lamabu yahashav vayeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yivarech et amo vashalom. If you're standing, you may be seated. Lechut lechadodi, page 21, every other stanza. Lechadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor b'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'li tila, lechadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, Kumitze'i mitoch ha'afecha rav lach shevet ve'mekabacha v'hu yachamol alayich chemla lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri Shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela v'hayulim shisa shosayich v'rachaku komi ba'alayich yasis alayich Elohayich Kim soscha tanal kala lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. And if you choose, it's the appropriate time to stand and face your entrance to your sanctuary as we welcome in the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret pala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala, toch emunei Am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. And now you may be seated. We'll make this a little bit bigger here. And the Psalm for Shabbat is on page 23. And I'm going to ask Mimi if she'll open her mic and join me responsibly if she cares to. Mimi, would you like to join me at the Psalm 92?
Sure.
It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning, your faithfulness each night, the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai, designs beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, spring up like the grass, but the doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But me, you have greatly exalted. I'm anointed with fervent oil. I feel the downfall of my foes. I feel the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age. They be ever fresh and fragrant. To proclaim my noise just, my rock in whom there is no flaw.
Mimi, thank you. We'll sing together 4 lines from the bottom. Sadikat Tamar. Sadikat Tamar yifrach ke'erez balvanan yiska shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu or yinuvun b'seva D'sheinim v'rananim yehu lahagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri v'lo avlatavo. Page 24. Adonai malach aleinu. Eidotecha nemnu ma'od lebehecha navakodesh Adonai leorech yamim. And now the mourner's Kaddish. Those of you saying Kaddish or observing a yortzeit will rise and we'll say the words together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yalmad divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedechol beit Yisrael v'gala uvizman kari v'yamru ameh. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lomei omaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. And now we rise as we turn to the call to worship on page 28, the Baruch Hu. The call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevarach. Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Leolam Vaed. And now I'm going to call on a volunteer to open their mic and read the English Praised Are You. Who would like to do it? Just go ahead and take it. First one in. 3, go for it, go.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe. Your word bringing the evening dusk. You open with wisdom the gates of dawn, design the day with wondrous skill, set out the succession of the seasons, and arrange the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Sevaot, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall forever embrace us. Praised are you, Adonai, for each evening's dusk.
Thank you so much. Omavir mevi laila, omavdil ben yamavein laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El Chai V'Kayam Tamidim L'Chaleinu Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Hamari V'Ravim. Ahavat Olam. Come on, let's turn. Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shachbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ועבדך תשים ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 30. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Together. V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech u'b'shafbecha uv'kumecha u'kshatam leot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'einenecha u'ktavtam al mezuzo beitecha u'v'hisharecha. Continuing silent v'hayayim shamoa tishmazam shamoa. All about them beyond nafshechem u'kshetem atam le'otchem v'ayidot b'nechem v'matam atam b'nechem v'vam leman yibu yimei b'imei b'nechem al ha'adama asher nishba Adonai levotechem lateit lahem. Yimei hashamayim al haaretz. Together, page 31. Vayomer Adonai al Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdehem ledorotam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf betil techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'yasitem otam v'lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru v'yasitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 32. Never goes over to Malin Kid my name was on in Israel Amo. Apo Denemi Amalchim Akin. I'll call soon and Salon and Simakan for Totum of Timbia Necham. Hama Kebe to call Bechrem, it's right. U'malchut tov ratzon kiblu alehem Moshe b'nei Yisrael l'chanu shira b'simcha rabba v'amru chulam ni chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha nedar bakodesh nora tehilot osef ele malchut charau vanecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe ze elianu v'yamru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'nemar kivnei et Yaakov golom et chazak mimenu baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael. Richard Strauss, would you like to lead us in the English Hashkivenu?
My pleasure, my favorite prayer.
I knew
Help
that.
us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all its people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank
Ushmor teitenu uvoeinu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'yad olam ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha baruch ata Adonai aparei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim. And now on page 34, we rise, if you choose, for Vishamru. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Beini uvein B'nei Yisrael Oti leolam Oti Leolam Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et HaShamayim v'yet Haaretz Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat Vayinafash Vayinafash Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah V'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'b'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala u'bizman kari v'yemaru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'lo me'omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kodesha berichu le'elam min kol b'chata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damihiran v'yama v'yemaru Amen. And now the Amida will be silent, page 35, A or B if you have a Siddur. Follow me on the screen if you choose. Do it in English if you choose as well. Hebrew, English, or words from your heart. The Amida is a time for private, personal meditation. ובירכתו מכל הימים, תקידשת מכל הזמנים, וכן כתוב בתורתך. ויכולו השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם ויכולו השביעי מלאכתו אשר בו, עשה וישבע ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת בכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. אלוהינו נתן רצי בנוך בן פרצ'ים ותברך בתנך בתורתך, סבנו בתברך ונוכל בישראל מקדשש שמך ברוך המים מקדש השבת וציין מעלי בימך ישראל ודתם לשבט עבודתך ותפיל אותם יבעת גבבתם תלותם תמילותם תשרון בתך זה נהנה כל הציון ברוך יבוא בני מחשך את עצמם ציון מודים אנחנו לך שתענני ולצלחן מגניש את תורתו ודרך לספר לך אחינו מצווה בידיך ונשפטנה בתור לך ונשך שלך ימים מנבים תרבתו ושלך ובעצם הטוב כנך ממך ועל כולם בברף וברכת פוסל ולתשמך באמת הישבתני בצד ברוך הנטוב שמך לכן לעבודות שלום רב הישראל חבי הקודש ותשים לעולם כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל אשר וטוב בעיניך ברך נמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל אשר בשמך ברוך ה' ברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. May the Lord protect and defend you. May he always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you longer lives. May God make you good mothers and may he send you husbands who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Passage together after the Amida, and then we'll stop. We'll all sing together the Oseh Shalom. Oops. In 1 second. Guitar fell. Together, my God, keep my tongue from evil, my lips from lies. Help me ignore those who would slander me. Let me be humbled before all. Open my heart to your Torah that I may pursue your mitzvot. Frustrate the designs of those who plot evil against me. Make nothing of their schemes. Act for the sake of your compassion, your power, your holiness, and your Torah. Answer my prayer for the deliverance of your people. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my redeemer. Let's all sing. Oseh Shalom Bimramav. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen, Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase Shalom, Yahase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emaru. Amen. May the one who brings peace to his universe bring peace to us, to all the people Israel. Ve'al kol Yoshrei Tevel, and all who dwell on God's earth, and we together say, Amen. We've been saying the prayer for healing since the beginning of the pandemic, and we're not going to stop here. Normally we do it Saturday mornings at the Torah, but we've been doing it at night as well because it's important for us to make sure that God hears our prayer for people to be better. So I will begin the Misha Berach. When I stop, you may open your microphones and say the name or names of people that you're remembering, or you could keep your mics closed. It's totally up to you. But if you wish to do so when I stop, you may do so. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel B'Leah V'Yivarach V'Rafei et
Howard Weinberg, Irving Weinberg, Sheila Weinberg,
Steve
Hannah
Goldberg,
Barkaya
Tanya
Rifkin,
Weinberg,
Ron Jones,
Paula
Barney
Dyke.
Sullivan, Steve Goldberg, Bernie Gordon.
Sandra Klein.
Sandra Klein.
Kol hacholim b'kila kadosh hakadosh baruch hu yimalei rachamim alehem lahachazikam u'refrotam v'yishlach lahem me'orah refuah shema min yishmai v'frat hanefesh v'frat haguf b'tok shechal Yisrael Shabbatim elizok u'for karavo lavo hashta v'agar b'zman koriv v'nomar amen. May God bring blessing and healing to all those we mentioned, all those we know of, those we may not know of, and those are on our personal list, those who suffer illness within the congregational family. May the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, mercifully restore them to health and to vigor, granting them physical and spiritual well-being together with people everywhere who may be ill. Misha berach avotenu, mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say Amen. Misha beirach imotenu, mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say Amen. We pray for all who are ill to be better and get well soon. We turn to page 47 and we rise, if you choose, for the Vayechulu. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam. Vayichal Elohim vayom ashri malachto asher asa. Vayishpot bayom hashmi mikol melachto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi. Vayikadesh oto ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto. Ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto. Asher bara Elohim, Asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Moel HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Kone Shamayim V'Aretz. If you're standing, you may be seated. Magen Navo Bidvaro Mechayim Meitim B'Mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'ein Kamohu Hameniach Le'amo B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נבול בהירה ופחם, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, מעיון הברכות. אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה, ויעמדו שני עונג זכר למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, רוצה במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. סבנו מטובך, ושמחנו בשועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת. והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו, באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. קדיש שלם. יגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד יברח ירותיו, ויעמך מלכותי בחייכון ובמכון ובחי לכל בית ישראל, בגלל בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולם היה. יברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ותעלה שמי לקודשה, בריחו ליעלם אין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בימה ויאמרו אמן. תקבץ לא תון ואותון זכו ישראל קדם ובהון דבשמיא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רב מן שמיא וחיים עליהם וכל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. You know, one of the things that I've missed so much is when Jacob does the Kiddush for us on Friday nights. You know, we haven't seen him since we went back to the temple. We haven't, you know, it's too late. He's only a bar mitzvah student of mine now. So it'd be nice if he were here tonight. It'd be really nice.
Rabbi.
Jacob! Yay, you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I don't have to pour mine. You have yours poured?
Yes.
Good. I don't want to drink this stuff. You can drink it for us, okay?
All right.
All right. You're gonna do the Kiddush. It's been since like May, right?
Yeah.
April, May, whatever. Wow. Great. Well, we've been studying together for your bar mitzvah. How's that going? Good?
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
everybody, tell everybody what a great teacher I am. Go ahead, tell them.
Yeah, he's a great teacher.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'll give you the cash when I see you next. Go ahead. Give us the do the Kiddush for us.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'atzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahavat u'ratzon hinilanu, zikron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mekrayei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu baharta biotanu kidashta mikol hamim vishabah kodecha yahava uvratzon hinhaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Bravo. Bravo, Jacob. Jacob.
Thank you.
We love it. You know, we love it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you when we're live in the temple too sometimes, because we miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing such a beautiful job tonight.
Thank you.
And for always doing such a beautiful job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. It's time for us to talk a little Torah at this time. And this week's Parsha is Toldot. And as I think about the Parsha, I think about choices, and how we all have to make choices. The choices we make can result in wonderful things, terrible things, and everything in between. There was a kosher butcher who had a particularly good day. He proudly flipped his last chicken on a scale and weighed it and said to the customer, "That will be 1009. That really is a little too small," said the woman. "Don't you have anything a little bit larger?" Thinking fast, the butcher returned the chicken to the refrigerator, paused a moment, then looked at it again, or then he took it out again. "This one," he said, "will be $11.65. The woman paused for a moment, and then she made her decision. She said, "I'll take both of them." Folks, we read in this Shabbat's Torah reading, Bereshit chapter 27, verse 18. And Yaakov said to his father, "I am Esav, your firstborn." Now, much like the butcher who played chicken with his customer, I wonder if this week's Torah reading tries to do the same thing with us when it comes to the question of right and wrong. We read how Yaakov and his mother deceive his father. The story about the woman and the clerk teaches that trickery is wrong. But why does the Torah seem to reward them? Not so fast. As we know, good old Uncle Lavan made Yaakov's life miserable for 20 years. Lavan tricked Yaakov by swapping his older daughter Leah in marriage for the love of his life, Rachel. And later, Yaakov's son would viciously deceive their father by making Yaakov believe that his favorite son Yosef was torn apart by wild beasts. Yes, the Torah shows Yaakov being punished measure for measure. What about Rivka? As an accomplice, she effectively loses both her sons. She chases Yaakov out of her home since she knew that Esau would kill Yaakov in retribution. Only a mother could never see their child again, could know the pain of that. Now add to that pain of knowing her other son, Esau would never be a loving son to her again. It's a horror. It's a horror show. So to make matters even worse, the Torah leaves open the question about whether Yaakov resented his mother for instigating and planning the trick. This happens when the Torah relates the death of Devorah, Rivka's nurse, but glosses over the death of Rivka. The implication is that Yaakov mourned the death of his nanny more than his mother. Devorah was a woman who helped raise Yaakov with love and without deception. The sad truth is, Rivka becomes alone after this deception. She's left with no husband, no nurse, no sons. The Torah says in Bereshit chapter 28, verse 5, and Yitzchak sent Yaakov, and he went to Padan Aram to Lavan, the brother of Rivka, Yaakov and Esav's mother. This verse appears redundant, but it shows the irony of the punishment that both Yaakov and Rivka would be forced to suffer. So now what do we do with this information? Yaakov received the birthright, and all the participants were punished dearly for it. Even so, neither Rivka nor Yaakov ever uttered a single word of apology. They were severely punished, but if it's the particular deception was to be considered so terrible, how can the Torah not have them say that we're sorry? Well, it's about now that I come to the spot in my Devar Torah where I should apologize to you for making this moral dilemma even worse. So before I do, however, I want a chance to redeem myself because I think there might be a way to get us out of that mess that I've gotten myself into. In this case, Yaakov knew that Yitzchak wants Esau to receive the birthright. So he impersonated Esau to steal it. But was Yitzchak really fooled? During his life, Yitzchak has done many things that did not work out very well. Each time as it is, he was very disappointed in himself. Examples: Yitzchak was upset with himself when he did nothing about Avimelech's total disregard of their peace treaties. Yitzchak was upset with himself when he did nothing about Avimelech filling in Abraham's wells. Yitzchak was upset with himself when Avimelech effectively chased him out of Gaza. So by the time he was on his deathbed, Yitzchak had learned something about failure. He knew that it was his weakness that caused him to fail. He did not want a person who he couldn't trust, or a person who might live his way, to succeed him. He wanted his successor to be a forceful and strong person, able to keep Abraham's teachings alive. Yitzchak thought that only the strength of Esau had to be the right choice, since Yitzchak was anything but strong. Yitzchak believed in compromise. Just as Yaakov had been wrong so many times before, his wife and younger son knew that he was wrong again. So since there's no notion of fairness in the entire Tanakh and the entire Jewish Bible, that is why the Torah teaches that the end sometimes justifies the means. It teaches that there are instances when it becomes necessary to take the most direct route to achieve the greater good. However, when we take that route, we must accept the fact that we will have to pay a personal price for the choices we make. Like I said, there's no notion of fairness in the Tanakh. Yes, as the saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. Remember what went on between Esau and Yaakov and Rivka before the great deception? Rivka stood by against her own husband as her son Esau married the Hittite wives. At that time, those marriages were unforgivable, but Rivka supported her son against all of the criticism. Remember how the Torah says in Bereshit chapter 26, verse 35, this was a bitterness of spirit to Yitzchak and to Rivka. This almost destroyed the family, but Rivka showed she loved her son regardless of his decisions and who he married. On another occasion, we see how Yaakov became filled with sadness when his older brother Esau agreed to sell his birthright for a bowl of lentil soup. Yaakov knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that his undisciplined brother would never fill the legacy of Abraham and Yitzchak because he didn't care. Everything else, it wasn't important to him. Both Yaakov and Rivka knew that Esau would never live up to that responsibility, and the covenant Abraham had with God would end. Both were driven by the divinely inspired responsibility to act as they did. They also had to know that they would have to pay a heavy personal price for it and accept it. No, the ends usually do not justify the means. But when they do, a personal price must be paid. We all know that choices we make in life are rarely black and white. Most of our decisions are made in the expansive gray space that separates right and wrong. You know, there are times when situations demand that we do things for which we will have to pay dearly to prevent an even greater tragedy, to accelerate the greater good. Rivka and Yaakov did what they had to do, not for any personal gain, and not even because of any animosity they had for Esau. Rivka had proven she loved her two sons, and Yitzchak never did anything to hurt his brother. Even so, they both paid a very high personal price for doing the deed that had to be done. Rivka and Yaakov must not be viewed as thieves, but as true heroes who ensured our survival as a people. And by the way, if anyone needs a couple of large whole chickens at a fair price, I know in fact that our very own Todd the Butcher in Peabody has a few for you anytime you just ask. And with that, I say Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn now to Aleinu. This used to do this all the time. Page 51, please rise. And I'm going to kill myself for doing this, but go ahead. You may open your microphones and we'll all sing together. Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol ha'tikun liyotzeh bereshit shelo asanu amanu k'mishpachot ha'adam shelo aleinu v'gohar aleinu kechol hamama v'anachnu Hashamayim al v'yaretz nitachad eino okay, nekabel achad. Yamachut gahil veitim loch v'gavol kagatu b'toratech Adonayim loch leolam vad b'nei Ayom ya Adonai Oshemo This time I'm going to ask everyone to mute the microphones, and I'm going to ask Adele to bail me out and read tonight's Yortzeit list, please, if you would be kind enough.
Absolutely. This week we will remember the Yortzeits of Murray Friedman, Joseph Lemeshow, Saul Tovey, Dora Sinitsky, Diane Weinrober, Lois Derman, Judith Epstein, Susan Gale Feinstein, Leslie Habelow, Marilyn Lee Block, Murray Brass, Theodore Block, Celia Esther Marmer. Are there any others?
If there are any others, you may open your mic and say the name. Thank you, Adele. May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those mourning or observing a Yortzeit to rise and to join us. You may join us with your mics open if you choose with the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra chirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ulomei olmaya, yiparach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shemei dekudisha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. And now with tonight's announcements, Richard Strauss. Richard.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good evening, everybody. As you all know by now, their temple does not have any heat in the building. It's being fixed as quickly as we possibly can. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning service is at 9:30 a.m., Zoom only. Minyan service schedule is as follows on Sunday at 9 o'clock. The morning service is Zoom only. There's no evening service on Sunday. Monday through Thursday evening services at 7 o'clock for the immediate future will be Zoom only. There is, however, some activity taking place in the temple on Monday. Zuma at 6 p.m. will be taking place. Tuesday's Bridge Week is canceled, but Tuesday evening Israeli dance group will be held at 8 o'clock. And Wednesday's total body strength at 4:30 will also be taking place. Religious school will be on Zoom only on this Saturday and Tuesday. And the religious school and our social action committee is collecting new toys, art supplies, new books for children for citizens in Haven from Hunger. There's a box in Founders Hall as well as in the religious school. Please bring in unwrapped items by December 3rd. I'll change that though. Social Action Committee is also collecting winter coats, hats, and gloves for local shelters. Please bring them to the temple by Sunday, November 7th. There will be a table set up outside the temple on Sunday morning under the canopy so that you can bring both the coats that you choose to, and if there's any of the stuff for the kids, the toys and gift cards, if you leave them there, I'm sure there's going to be somebody hanging around the temple on Sunday morning to make sure they don't go wandering off. On Sunday, the 14th, at least at this point, we shall still considering to have the Geniza service at 11 o'clock. We'll just have to play it by ear. It depends upon whether the kids are in school. We want the kids there. Men's Club auction is coming up shortly on December 5th through the 19th. We've been collecting lots of good gift cards and gift certificates and golf outings and things for Elizabeth Grady things and all that stuff. So please hop on that at the appropriate time and help the Men's Club out by bidding on all this stuff. Shabbat Shalom, and let's hope we get back to the temple soon.
Shabbat Shalom, Richard. Thank you. The plan is to do that Geniza service. We'll get the kids there even if they're not in class. We really want to get that done before it starts snowing, and then we're in trouble. So plan on the 11th, 11 o'clock on the 14th for our Geniza service. And we'll if you have Geniza in your homes and you wish to bring it to the service at 11, and you'll take part in the burial of Geniza. Geniza are papers or books that have God's name in them. So if they have God's name in them, you don't throw them in the garbage. We bury them along with other artifacts that are religious and treat them as we treat a human being. We treat them with respect and with dignity. Now, don't forget, after the service, get ready, folks. I have a brand new, unopened. So get ready. So I'm just giving you fair warning here. All right, here we go. We're going to do Yigdal and then we'll conclude. Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach nimsa v'yehened el metziuto echad v'yen yachid ki yichudo nelam v'gam meitzof leyachduto ein lo demut haguf v'yeino haguf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kamon lechol davar asher nivra rishon v'yein reshit l'reshito hino adon olam v'chol notzar yoreh gedulato u'malchuto shefan nevuato netano el anshe segulato v'tifarto lo kam b'Yisrael kemoshe od navi u'mahabir et emurato Torah menatan leyamo el al yad neviyo neman beito lo yachal el velo yamir dato leolamim lezulato sofevio deya sitareinu mabit lesof davar v'kadmat tov. Gomer leish chesed kemifalo, noten l'rasha ra kerishato. Yishlach l'ketz yamim meshichenu, liftov mechakeket Yeshuato. Meitim yichayel berov chasdo, Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato. Meitim Yechayel Berov Chaso, Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato. All right, I have to take us now into the social hall. That's where we need to be, in the social hall. It's been a while since we've been in the social hall, right? So here we are. Now, the last time I did this, I opened a brand new bottle for the 2 weeks that we were going to be on, right? And I had 2 of them. All right, here we go. Everybody going to join me? You may open your mics. Baruch atah Adonai Olam shakol niyeh bivaro l'chaim tovim u'shalom. L'chaim tovim u'shalom. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim tovim u'shalom. By the way, Jacob, this is apple juice.
Yeah. Oh, it is?
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.